There's like a 5-star hotel this is in Kenya. It's not in Uganda.
Oh, is it the giraffe one?
What do you mean giraffe one?
There's one in Kenya, a hotel in Kenya that's like 5 stars where the giraffes come in the morning and you can feed them.
That's the one. Yeah.
You stayed there.
Yeah. So
What? Tink.
Clink. Clink.
Yeah.
Clack to clickety clack.
I love that.
How are we doing today?
Good. Changing the mugs up every once in a while. I like that. Got your bison mug.
This is the one I normally drink coffee out of, but today I decided to go with a nice, relaxing jasmine tea.
Ooh, I love it. I went with lemonade in the Mariners 20th, not even 25th, 20th anniversary limited edition mug by Chevron.
By Chevron.
Right? Got to throw that in there. It was 1997, the Griffey years. Those are good years.
I wish it was a company that sponsored it that's not around anymore, so it could be like really dating the cup.
Right? I mean,
they like 20th anniversary of the Mariners season brought to you by Blockbuster.
Right? Oh, there's one Blockbuster left. I think it's actually out in Oregon.
It's in Bend, Oregon. I drove actually by it one of the last times I was in Bend. And I remember, like, I knew it was there, but I remember going by and I was just like, oh, man, you don't see that every day.
No, and what's weird is I want to say I was down in Louisiana and I saw a Blockbuster. And I was like, I thought, like, there was only one left. So they must have kept the name or tried to do something.
Yeah,
you know, things like that.
I know there's like 6 or something left, or less than that, not too long ago. Because what's his face? John Oliver tried saving the one up in Alaska.
Maybe that's where I saw it. I don't know. I was on one of my trips these last couple of years I've been on where I went and I was like, I saw one and I was like, what? No.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing?
They are. I believe you can still rent movies out of them.
Well, and I mean, we got to be real for our millennial listeners and the other young folk out there, generation, whatever they call you.
It's not as demographic, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not important. But what a Blockbuster was, it was a place where you could go and rent VHS and or DVD. You know, none of this streaming stuff. You went to the store and said, I would like to watch James Bond 007 on a VHS tape. I don't get that anymore. I mean, you can. Some places rent. You got Redbox and stuff, but...
Yeah, that's like the closest to Blockbuster nowadays.
I say we bring it back. I think the Wandering Ways podcast...
Video?
What?
Did you guys have Hollywood Video out where you were? Like Blockbuster.
I seen Hollywood Video before, yeah.
That used to be the only thing here in town. We didn't have a Blockbuster, we had a Hollywood Video. Used to go get my movies there, used to go rent movies there, used to rent all sorts of shit there.
Love it. I mean, I don't really rent videos back in the day. I wasn't really into it. Hastings, that was the thing, but I figured it out. I was a kid. Now I stream. We all stream, huh?
Yeah, I stream. I stream, you stream, we all stream for ice cream.
Right, exactly. And that's why you can actually stream the Wandering Ways podcast on YouTube. If you have one of those YouTube live TVs, I believe you could check out Wandering Ways on YouTube. We're here. Check us out.
At the Quartz production YouTube page.
Yeah, I actually got around to changing up some stuff to clean it up a little bit.
I saw that.
Yeah, added all the social medias, at Reverend Marcus this, at Reverend Marcus that, So if you guys appreciate a good YouTube page, it should be pretty cleaned up. I've been so busy with work, I haven't been able to go out in nature. And like I was thinking today, like I started on that. I don't even know if I finished because I got caught up with something for work. And, I've been, it's been nuts lately.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Yellowstone this last weekend and I couldn't because I worked.
Oh, no, actually, I figured out our next kind of adventure that I think is close enough to the two of us, kind of. I think it's closer to me. But northeast Oregon, I'm going to be blanking on the mountain ranges. It's like the Walla Mountains.
Oh, you were talking about kind of that.
Um,
You're not necessarily near out past Tri-Cities there in Washington, but almost close to like Pullman, right? Those mountains.
well, you're in the Wallowa Mountain.
Wallowa?
Wallowa.
Wallowa Mountains. If anyone wants to correct us, please go ahead and shoot us an email.
Wallowa.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally on board to do something like that.
I heard it's I'm trying to pull up some shit real quick so we can see it on a flipping map, so that way I at least know where the hell this thing is.
See, this guy's trying to plan trips, and that's part of it. He just heard a word and was like, the bird, the bird's the word, and here he goes. He's spitting it out like Wallowa Mountains. Never heard of them before, but we're going to go there, and and that's part of the adventure. I think.
You want to know who you should ask about this sometime?
Who?
Matt? Yeah, Matt. It's out near the La Grande in Baker City.
Oh, I believe it. I'm not doubting you, but it's one of those things that it's about the story, the adventure getting there, the adventure there. I think we're bound to have a good time no matter where you're at. I think that's the other thing too, is we hype places up. You're going to be like, Old Faithful it's this big geyser, it shoots up, and people are like, sometimes I think people are disappointed when they see those kind of things. And when you just say it, and if you have some excitement in your voice, that's all I need. I just need that little bit of excitement. So the Wallowa Mountains sounds good. Sounds like it'll be a good time. It's a place we haven't been. Check it out.
I heard it's the best kept secret in Oregon.
No, I'm the best kept secret in Oregon.
You're not even in Oregon.
Exactly. That's
Don't
why
count.
it's a secret. That's why it's a secret.
Are you a resident? You don't count.
I'll show you, resident.
Don't count.
This white people out here going residency. You're in this border. Those lines aren't there.
Yeah, your tribe wasn't even in Oregon, so a double no.
I don't know. I love it. I like that. You bring up a good point there, and I think it's good for our viewers. But we did travel. There's bird feathers that were found in a tomb in Ohio from Hawaii. There's traces of, there's a great Blackfeet story about the eagle and the condor linking the two birds of, Mexico, the condor down there and the bald eagle from up here. And these beautiful stories of travelers. And, I'm going to actually, since you're an Oregonian boy, you're out there by Fort Clatsop, you're the Lewis and Clark. I'm going to share a little story for everyone. So on the Lewis and Clark journey, when they were camped at Fort Mandan in North Dakota, one of the Corps of Discovery's men carved an axe handle, right? He was just carving on it, doing his thing. Well, he traded it there for whatever he traded it for. And they went out and they went on their journey. Time passed, months passed. They're out in Fort Clatsop there, right? And they decide to come back. And as they're coming back up the Columbia on their way back, they run into two, I believe it was Nez Perce Indians. And one of them had that axe on him, that axe handle.
That's kind of cool.
Things get around.
Yeah, I mean, things get traded. It's like when they put that, like, the dollar bill with, like, the stamp.
Oh, yeah, stamp on it? Yeah.
In or whatnot.
That was going on. No, commerce was going on. Trade was going on.
Yeah. You could argue that the same thing happens today. It's just a really boring trade where we trade paper, or nowadays it's just imaginary shit. They get an exchange of something,
I mean, we can get into that, the Bitcoin debate, the fact that it's like,
Well, it's not just Bitcoin. You know, when you use your card, right?
oh, I
That's
know.
imaginary money in down when it comes down to basic terms, right? Because it's not in hard form like a dollar bill or something.
But not only that, even a dollar bill is supposed to be just like, this is here for gold. Like, that's all this is. It's a piece of paper saying you have this amount of money of value somewhere.
Yeah,
And it's all, it's interesting when you think about it, like, because it's like you could hit zero on everyone one day. You get the wrong person in there.
yeah, yeah. I don't understand it, but that's because the way I think doesn't make sense. But that's a me issue. I still understand the importance of it, though.
We still love you for who you are.
I still understand the importance of money. I just don't understand money.
It works.
That's why I trade beads. That's why I trade, flowers.
Right? No, you gotta trade it up. And,
Yeah,
but hey, people love it, so you just gotta use it. It works.
for sure.
No, but speaking of money, right? Like, we need to spend some money on a new trip. So I want to hear, who gave you the idea to go to the Wallowa Mountains in Eastern Oregon? Where did this hidden secret come about?
Well, okay. First time I ever heard of it is actually from the great Matt Buddy. He was
Matt
talking about
Buddy.
he was talking about a lake up there that's supposed to be really, really beautiful. And I remember him telling me about it. And I was just like, dude, that's way out in the middle of nowhere, which it is. It is out in the middle of nowhere. But that was a while ago. Forgot about it because it's out in the middle of nowhere. Until recently, there's some guy on the news who's going to go out there and like climb all the peaks out there.
Oh,
So, I like a good mountain climb. So I was like, oh, but then I was like, oh, wait, that's that place Matt was talking about. And I was like, it's supposed to be amazing.
hey, I'm on board. Let's make it happen. I'm hearing nothing but great things. That's all I need to hear. So we're gonna take it for that. I'm on board. But when you say beautiful lake, man, one of the lakes that comes to me is called, I want to say like Emerald, no, like Crystal Lake. It has one of those names, that like
Yeah.
magnificent see-through, and it's on your way. It's near Judith Gap, Montana. Shout out all 47 people living there. I'm not kidding. I think that is close to the population that is there. It's up in the mountains there, and it's one of those ones. I've only been to it once, and it was when I was a kid. And I remember it took us all day to get there. And we're like, and then we got there, and the water was crystal clear, and you could just like see the lake, and we're like, oh, I don't think we want to fish because, well, we don't see any fish, because it was that clear.
Yeah.
And you're looking, because you come in, it's almost you look down at it, and I was just like, oh my God, like, I don't know, one of those memories that
You get that like, clear water, man. It's something else.
Oh, I don't want to, I almost don't want to go back there because of the nostalgia of that experience that first time. It's like, I don't want to go back and be like, oh, that's what that was, because I speak high praise of it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones
not as clear as you remember.
No, it was beautiful. I mean, you come out to Montana and any of these lakes are super clear. I mean, you've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, there are a lot of good clean lakes out there. Clear lakes. I don't know if they're all clean, but
we try.
Oh, mining and all that shit pollutes the water.
Oh, well, you talk about that. You talk about Butte, right? Like, not a lot. I don't think a lot of people know about that. The copper rush in the 1800s. After the gold rush, people came to Butte. Butte was one of the largest cities in America at one point, and they have the Bakken, which is a reservoir of all the mining water and stuff. And they literally it's so hazardous. They have people employed to scare away the ducks and geese. And at one point they voted on it, like what to do with it, because they're like, well, this is going to be a problem in like 50 years. And we know that because it's filling up, the rainwater fills it up every year, this much snow melt, so it's like, we know in 50 years it's going to go over the top. They literally voted to say, let's just push it off to like the next generation to figure it out. And it was like, oh my God, like, because they don't know what to do. Like, they're so stuck on like, we don't know what to fucking do. So we'll let someone else figure it out. Yeah.
That's the issue with a lot of shit, man.
Right. And
we're just like someone else in the future will figure it out. Well, guess what? If you don't take the time to start thinking about it, you're never gonna figure it out.
Well, and that's one of my biggest points, and that's why I'm always say, like, just go do it, go out there yourself and go do it. And that's kind of where I'm at with you on that, is because it's just like, if everyone has that attitude, always push it off, like, unless you step up to the plate and get the job done, no one else is going to get it done. And that's with everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just, you can talk about it, until you start action. Yeah. It's one of those things that's like,
there's a great quote. It's tomorrow never comes, it's always today.
Exactly.
So,
but I always, that brings up another quote, and there's this bar in Billings that they have it. It says, tomorrow, free beer.
Oh. Promise of good things are supposed to come tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes.
No, exactly. Wow, that was a kind of a good opening, though. I feel like we got everyone going. I'm going. I'm excited. We got some good things today.
The main gist of today is our lovely, amazing, fantastic guest.
Dude, my brother from another mother, day one OG kind of guy, Yolo, Taban, is coming on.
Yolo Taban.
Great guy. He, I met him at my first day of school at Oregon State. We were standing in line, turned around, just was like, how's it going? Good. We hit it off and sat by each other at the whatever thing we watched, just some speaker at Oregon State, and here we are, 7 years later, something like that. And it's great. He's a great friend, great guy. We actually got to experience Yellowstone this summer with him. I think we'll talk about that a little bit.
I mean, that's the main reason he's on our, nature talking podcast.
Which is funny, because back in 2015, back in the drought, we're in the Honda Pilot, the old school Mark's car.
Yeah.
And we're talking, me and Mark went to the Blue Pool out in Oregon, which is also a really cool place to go. And Yolo, we showed him that day, and he's just like, nah, ain't about that.
Yeah. What did he say? He's like, he goes, Zach, I was born in nature.
Yeah. Because I don't want this, but
no.
I'm excited. He's going to talk about some of the parks in Uganda where he's from. So
we're gonna try and get around to that. Get around to Yellowstone. We have a lot of cool topics to talk about. So
he's a great guy. I mean, a lot of stories there. Heck, we took a spring break trip with him down to San Diego and had a good time.
Yeah. So I mean, stay tuned. It's gonna be a good interview, I think.
Yeah,
but
I'm excited.
Yeah, anyway, here's Mr. Yolo.
Welcome back. We have our guest, Yolo, is on with us today. We're super excited to have you on. We did some great things with you. I mean, we've done tons. We've known each other for 7 years now, and all the adventures that we've had in between, all the places we've been, all the things we've done. So I'm excited to get going. Mark, do you have anything to say? I'm just excited.
No, I'm excited. I mean, I'm always excited when I get to talk to Yolo. It's I don't see him much, so anytime I do get to talk, it's always a pleasure. So I'm excited to recap and just, hang out and do our thing.
Yeah, and then Yolo, do you want to give us just give us a brief introduction of who you are for the listeners.
Well, first of all, I'd say thanks for having me, guys. I knew you guys were doing the podcast, but I didn't know I'd be a guest
Well,
on one of the episodes. So
there you go.
pretty exciting. But I think a little bit about myself is I grew up in Uganda. It's in East Africa. Beautiful country, right by the equator. Nice weather, 24/7. So
So that's why
yeah.
when you at Oregon State, when it snowed that first year you were there, you were not about the snow.
Dude, if you actually remember, I got like a irritation in my eye. That one picture we took,
Yeah.
you had that white coat.
Oh yeah.
I had an irritation in my eye. I think it's because of the snow.
Really?
Yeah, I probably
Oh
think.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you saw snow?
Yeah, first time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was a lot for Oregon.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's a good
All right.
experience though.
Oh, good. Go ahead. Keep going. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah. So I moved here. 2013? Moved to the U.S. for school. Moved straight to Corvallis, Oregon, and that's where me and Zach met up. And then the rest was history. So.
Right. I still talk about that. We went and saw that speaker. I don't even know what the fuck he talked about, but I'm like, no, he sat next to Yolo. He was right. Right next to me. Here's the picture.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. It was definitely, what was that experience like? I kind of got it when I was in, I came from Montana to Oregon, so I knew nobody, but it's still the US for me, right? Like it's still, I had family and stuff close by. What was that, I guess, culture shock for you like?
Well, it was kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it was overwhelming because pretty much what you see on on TV and movies, watch. I used to watch a lot of there's a show called Blue Mountain State. So, you watch stuff like that. And you're like, dude, there's no way life could be like this, right? But then you run into crazy dudes that actually, it's like, wow, am I in a show? Am I in a movie, right?
Yeah.
But I'd say the first year was pretty tough. Especially adjusting to a lot of stuff like food, the weather being one of them, and then like actually, meeting new people because once you don't have people that you could actually talk to and actually vibe with, it's like pretty boring. Get like kind of long. But the first year was kind of okay. Zach, of course, meeting you, and then I think we met Mark year one too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he was always trying to get me to join that fraternity.
Right.
And then you never signed up, so you saved yourself.
Yeah.
The smart one.
Yeah.
No, that was a fun. Man, I look back at, like, we went to San Diego, that road trip together down there. That was 14 hours.
Before you moved out to the U.S. for school, had you ever been to the U.S. before that?
Never. I've never been to the U.S. My sister had been. I had a couple of my siblings that have traveled the world, right? And they'll always come back, with stories like, wait, are we allowed to curse on this or no? Is this clean?
Go for it, free flow.
Okay, we'll come back and be like, yo, it's like, like Europe's fucking awesome. Asia's great. Australia and all these places. And I've never been, so I'll always be like, man, I wonder what it's like, to be off the continent. It's no different from someone that's been in the U.S. their whole life and be like, damn, I wonder what it's like off this continent, right? It's that same feeling that everyone gets,
That's crazy. Because that's actually a similar story to one of my basketball athletes that I worked with at Humboldt. He's from Lithuania, But he had a sister come over to the States, and then when she went back to Lithuania, was like, it's amazing over there. It's like awesome. Like, and he's like, oh well, shoot, I want to do it. And he ended up finding a way to play basketball over here. He's still doing it today.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, that's a hard jump to make, and I applaud you for doing it. I mean, that's one of the things we preach is just doing it, right? You know, if you want to go do something and see something, well, who's stopping you? Just go do it.
Yeah.
That's why we need to get you to show us around Uganda too, because you know all the cool spots there.
I've been telling you that since freshman year. I was like
day one.
You know, we get a chance to go. Hopefully next year would be the year.
You just gotta tell me. You just say my flight's booked. Book your flight for these days. I'll do it.
Dude, once the pandemic's done, you know, we should definitely, you know, plan a trip. I'm planning to go next year, so.
Well, and that's something you guys have parks over there, right? Like, what are those parks like? I mean, you went to Yellowstone with us. What are those like? I'm curious to know.
Well, it's like here's the thing. The Yellowstone was great. It felt like something that, you know, if you ask like a 5-year-old kid, you know, draw your dream park, what did it look like, right?
Yeah.
Scenery-wise, right? You know, it looked like Yellowstone, right? Honestly, because driving through it, like trees look perfect, and it's like it's kind of too perfect to be nature, you know, in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's like everything's like, you know, the road's paved, and you know, it's like, oh, it's like so perfect, right? But then back home, it's like, you know, you actually feel like, wow, like this is actually like I'm in the wilderness, or I'm not in the wilderness, but it's actually a national park, right? It's actually really a park. Like any second from now, a lion could hop out that bush. Who knows? You know, that's kind of what it feels like. I mean,
that could happen with the bear in Yellowstone.
It could happen, yeah. And you know, with Yellowstone, it's like it's kind of, at least from my experience, it's kind of set up for more like group activities. You know, like sightseeing. Like I think in the winter, there's like people go up there and like, you know, do all these winter activities, right?
They can go snowmobile into the park.
Snowmobile, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like back home, I'd say it's strictly just purely like, you know, just enjoying the animals, you know, because there's so many animals you can see, right? So it's pretty much, you know, you get to a hotel, you know, and then like probably during the day, you know, you just like get in the tour like they got like those Jeeps with the open roof, and then like you just drive around the park and, you know, just have a good time.
Wow, that sounds like fun. I'm into that. I mean, one thing, the way you described Yellowstone there, and when you come back, because I know you're like, I gotta come back because you gotta show your girl. Mm-hmm. And what I was thinking, you gotta experience the Beartooth Pass, which is kind of when you come from Billings, where I'm at, it's this road, and you literally start at the bottom of the mountain, and it goes zigzags all the way up, and then you're up on top of the Beartooths, which are the mountains when we were in the Lamar Valley.
Right.
Those mountains that were right there. Mm-hmm. So when you're going over the Beartooth Pass, like that's another way into the park. And the way you're just talking about describing it and seeing it, I'm like, you have to come see this place, because you just be like, you just be in just starstruck.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, that's the fun part about it. I mean, I think going to these places, doing these things, you know, I love showing people Yellowstone for the first time. You know, it was your first time there. It was Abdul's and Aman's first time there, and it was just very, for me, it was such a good experience to have that with all you guys and to be there. And I don't know, like it was fun. I'm glad we got to share that moment.
It definitely was. And that's why I said it's like you know, I want you guys to, you know, because you having you and Mark as I wouldn't call you guys tour guides, but you pretty much you knew the park at the back of your hand, right? And that's actually how you could actually enjoy a place, right? Because thinking about it, you know, if we just went there and like, oh yeah, I'm trying to go to Yellowstone, right? We probably wouldn't have had a good time, you know. But like since you guys know, you know, the ins and outs of the park, you know, it made the trip so much fun, you know.
Well, that was one of those things that, I mean, me and Mark have talked about, you know, if you want to come for a week, we can figure out Yellowstone in a week. You know, we'll go down to the Tetons, we'll go to Red Lodge, we'll do that kind of thing. Right. You know, if you want to come for a day, heck, we've done Yellowstone in one day, and
Yeah,
and it's fun. So that's the thing is when you know it's a place like that, you can hit the highlights, and I think that's what we got to do with you guys. We got to go whitewater rafting. Have you ever done anything like that before?
Isn't that what we did? What was that?
The whitewater rafting.
yeah, the second day.
Yeah,
yeah, we did that.
Have you done that before?
I've never done that.
Yes.
I've never done that. But like there's a bunch of so Uganda, this you know River Nile, right?
Yeah.
The longest river in Africa, actually in the world, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Nile. Yeah.
The source actually starts in Uganda, in Lake Victoria, right?
Yeah. That's the one with all the cichlids, right? Lake Victoria has all the cichlids.
Right. Yeah. So right at the source, you know, the rapids you know, go really, really fast. That's why everybody goes you know, people go bungee jumping over there and like water rafting. It's like a crazy experience. Like in one day you could go quad biking, bungee jumping, and rafting all in one day. So yeah.
You're going to have to be our tour guide.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to go.
Wow.
Just listening to you talk about it like just a little bit. I like because I think you described the two differences really well, how Yellowstone is almost too perfect, where it kind of loses that like natural feel. And I feel like in Uganda, it's more like natural, what it was, what it is, what it's always been.
Right, because you kind of think about it in this sense where it's like, to be in the wilderness, you always have to have that hint of fear. Like, you know, what if a coyote comes out right now? You know, what if, you know, a snake comes? And that's what makes it fun. You know, it's fun in a sense where it's like your adrenaline's going high. Like, oh yeah, I'm looking at a lion, but anytime if I get too close, you know, I know what might happen. You know,
that's still a cat, and if I had a laser pointer, he would get me.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be the fear factor part of it would be interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely know if I was looking at a lion or a leopard or something, I'd be just like, oh, fuck me.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the thing that, I mean, people don't understand this. Here in the States, we have mountain lion, which are cougar, panther kind of type creature.
Right.
And they will stalk you. My dad was actually, back in the day, was hunting bighorn sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And they came across these hunters, and they're like, yeah, we had to give up because we were being followed by a pack of wolves.
Wow.
That was being followed by a bear. That was being followed by a mountain lion.
That's crazy.
As they were following the sheep. Like, so they're all these mountain lions. Like the chain of life. Like, we just gave up because they're like, we had too many scares that I was like, oh, I would not want that. But yeah, no, I think that fear element is huge.
Right.
You didn't have any fear in Yellowstone?
Not well. I was not afraid because like the you know, we didn't get close to the bears. I feel like if we got close to the bears, then I'd definitely be afraid. Yeah, but I don't think I felt like, you know, I was in danger at any point because even the bison we saw they're not like wild animals. They're kind of like in between domesticated and wild, right?
I mean, you're right.
But technically they're wild, right? But they're not like wild, if you know what I mean.
They're very herd animals, the bison.
Yeah, that's true.
So But I mean, you've seen videos of the Yellowstone, right? Of where they're when you get those big male ones, and you get they'll throw you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I mean, we got to drive the car right down on that road, and we turned the engine off and got to sit with them eating there. I mean, that to me, I mean, that was an experience.
I know. Which actually reminds me, like, thinking about that. I once went to this wedding when I think I was what 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like my dad's one of my dad's friends. His daughter was getting married, right? And they actually had the wedding in the middle of the national park. So there's like a 5-star hotel this is in Kenya. It's not in Uganda.
Oh, is it the giraffe one?
What do you mean giraffe one?
There's one in Kenya, a hotel in Kenya that's like 5 stars where the giraffes come in the morning and you can feed them.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
You stayed there.
Yeah. So the wedding.
What?
Yeah. The wedding was actually in the middle of a national park.
Oh my god!
And so it's like it's like this 5-star hotel. It takes like I think the drive from the city is like 3 hours. I'd say about 3 hours, right? So you get in there and it's like the way to set it up is like the animals usually there's like a small like pond where most of the animals come and drink water every day.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much you wake up in the morning like from your room you could see giraffe, you could see I saw a lion one time like in the morning. Yeah, just like crawling and just like relax. You see zebra, you see all animals just come and like drink from the pond. It's pretty dope. It's a dope experience,
Yeah.
Just tell me how much, and yeah,
I have to look it up.
I'm signed up.
I think it's relative, like with the exchange currency,
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel it.
Well, I'm on board, man. Let's make it happen. I mean, when you say I'm going home, let's make it happen.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I said. It's like when you guys come down, trust me. Like Mark, Zach, I'm probably gonna get married soon. Probably next year, or the year after that, right?
Well, I get next year because fucking COVID here postponed.
Oh, yeah. But that's the thing is like once I decide, I'm like, all right, I'm going back home, this month or whatever, or like this is gonna happen. I let you guys know like 6 months in advance or whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And pretty much what it is like I'll set up a plan, we land once the day you guys land till the day you guys leave, there's something you're gonna be doing. And I want you guys to experience the whole of East Africa, right?
I would love every moment of that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We'd have to do some podcast episodes from there too.
Everything. You could vlog, you could do whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. I have goosebumps. I have literal goosebumps. I'm like jazzed and excited, and my brain's already thinking, when this happens. I do have a question about a wedding in that sense. Do you have a traditional East African style of wedding, or what kind of, I guess, what would educate me?
Right. Well, so it's like, I think it goes most of Africa. It's like, depends on what, like the country and what tribe you're in, right? Mm-hmm. So I'd say there's a million tribes, and each tribe has, different way of how they do the traditional weddings, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much depending on what tribe it is, and certain tribes, put emphasis on like dowry and giving the bride price and stuff like that. That's pretty much the center stone of the event. Others, it's not really a big thing, but I think the traditional wedding, what's really fun about it is the dressing, like how people dress up. You just dress up and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
gosh,
but I'd say traditional weddings are kind of like they're kind of low key because people. It's more of like, oh, we made it official in front of everybody, right?
Yeah.
And like the white wedding is kind of like it's like it's where like people go crazy and like the reception and get drunk and stuff. So,
so are you going to have more of a traditional wedding in that sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. I might actually even have like two traditional weddings because my girlfriend, she's you know, she's Nigerian, so so I might have to stop in Nigeria and then do one
Well,
there and then one in Uganda and then do a white wedding. So,
we got to calculate. You got to calculate that trip to where we hit Nigeria, and
but
we
that's what I said is like once once I let you guys know and you calm down, I think you're gonna have a good time because um, even in terms of just like nature, right? The stuff you see in Uganda is totally different from the experience you have in Kenya. It's like night and day.
oh wow.
Yeah, because like I'd say Uganda we're more heavy on like we have a lot of mountains, a lot of like rivers and stuff like that. Waterfalls. There's too many waterfalls you can't even count. Right.
It was very green, right?
Very green. Yes, very green. And on the other hand, Kenya is more like I'd say they have more wildlife than Uganda. Their wildlife is actually top of the line. Like you'll see everything. And then once you hit the coast of Mombasa, right? You'll see like they have that element because back in the day, you know, when the Oman people were coming to East Africa, they set camp, in Mombasa. So you'll see pretty much all the forts they built, and it's all this like stuff from the 1500s that's still alive. So it's like, yeah, you'll see like chains and and all that stuff. Like they have like what do you call them, cannons, like that they had back in the day. Yeah, it's like, and thinking about it right now, I'm like, man, I kind of feel like these video games you play. Like, have you guys ever played what's it called, Uncharted?
I'm not a gamer.
Okay, and then
My brother's Josh. You met Josh. Josh is a gamer.
right, ask Josh. So it's like it has like all this ancient stuff that you could probably feel like, yo, I'm in a video game right now, but it's real life. Yeah, so like it's a lot of stuff to be explored, and then you have the ocean over there, beautiful beach. I think they have the best coconut I've had in my life.
Really?
Not a big fan of coconut, but the coconut over there is like so pure. Yeah.
Oh man. What's a good like traditional food? What would you say?
Well, it depends. Like, depends on
So
where
you're
you.
going you're craving a meal from home. What is it?
So the way I'd say the way back home is like depending on what region you are, they eat different foods, right?
Yeah.
So like in central Uganda, they eat a lot of bananas, right? Bananas and stew, but it's not like the banana that's like ripe they eat right away.
Yeah.
It's like a raw banana, but you have to like cook it and all that stuff. So yeah, so they call that matoke, and then you can eat that with a stew, or sometimes you just wrap it up. You get the banana, you wrap it up, with, with meat or whatnot. You wrap it up in the leaves and throw it in a pot, and then just like you take it out after a couple of hours. So
Wow.
that's like in the central what they usually eat, and then I'd say it's pretty much the same in the west, and then in the north it's um, they have like they have this seed called millet. I don't know if you guys know what millet is. You know what that is?
No.
So it's kind of like it's kind of like a, it's like a grain. It's a grain that people could make. You can make a solid food out of it, or you could grind it and make it into like a porridge. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so that's what like in the north a lot of people like tend to eat.
Is it kind of like grits?
I've never had grits, so I wouldn't know.
Oh.
I've heard of grits, but I think
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So which one's your favorite? Which one's your choice? The banana?
Well, for me personally, there's in my tribe, we get like you guys know what cassava is.
No.
Well, what do they call it? I think they call it yuca. You know what yuca is?
I've heard the name or I've heard it, but I don't
I'm
know.
not a chef.
So yuca is like it's like a I'd say it's a stem tuber. You know what a stem tuber is?
Oh, like an onion kind of thing.
Well, yeah, well, it's like the plant is the stem, and the stem it's a root tuber actually, not a stem tuber. Like the root is actually the food, right?
It's like a potato.
Yeah, like a potato, right? And
Okay.
then the stem just like grows out and it's like really really tall, and then we get the leaves. So you could eat the root. You know, you could deep fry the root. We could boil it, and then we get the leaves and pretty much mash them, and then you let it sit for like I'd say 3-4 hours, and then you cook it for like about 6 hours.
Wow.
So that's like my best, yeah. Like the leaves of that with rice, and you throw in some like fish in there, it's a wrap.
Really? Oh man, I'm gonna have to try some.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I love trying different food like that. I the last couple of years I've really decided because I've traveled a lot for work. You know, I was up in Alaska, and everyone at the table bought like king crab for everyone, and I was like, no, I don't want to try it, you know. But then I like a week later, I was kicking myself. I'm like, that's the place to try king crab. You're in Bering Strait, like you know, and that's my thing. And ever since then, you know, when I was down in Louisiana, I had to try the Cajun food, that alligator.
That's true. But that's what I was saying is like, you know, kind of like comparing to like when we went to Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
I want to try out everything. I want to try out the elk. I want to, you know, the bison burger. I want to try it all out because it's like I will never get a chance, you know, to experience this in my life ever again, right?
Well, in that, especially in that form where you know those restaurants are getting good bison. You know those because of where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're getting good elk. They're getting, you know, you're in Montana. Like you're going to, when you're in Montana, you're going to have good steak.
Right.
There's a lot of cows everywhere. They outnumber us, you know?
Right. On a side note, no, I'm not going to lie. That bourbon I got,
the bison burger?
No, the bourbon.
The bourbon. Oh, the Montana bourbon.
Oh, one of the best I've had.
Really?
Yeah. One of the best I've had.
You know, honestly, I'm not a bourbon guy. When I lived in Cincinnati, I drove down to Kentucky a few times, and me and my roommate went to different whiskey or bourbon distilleries, and I was like, I couldn't do it. I took one shot, gagged, and I was like, I'm done.
No, I like the whole when you know, like when you guys went to Yellowstone, you guys were all in on it, right? Trying all different. That's exactly what I want to do in Uganda, man.
Right.
So I want to get in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't Mark, don't worry about it. Listen, I feel like by the time you're done with the trip, you'll say, I wish I had more time. It's one of those things. Like, I wish I had more time to see more and be around more. You know what I mean? So I think to actually a nice timeline, give yourself like a month. You know, like sure, you're gonna travel for a month, you know, you get like a week to like, you know, settle in. You have like a week to travel in Uganda, and then another week to go like to, you know, say, you know, Kenya and, you know, experience, because Kenya's like, it's a big country, right? So you experience a couple of the parts, and then like, you know, you have like another week on the coast, because like the coastal experience is like, it's one of the best experiences I've had in my life. I've been there like 3-4 times, and I always want to go back. You know, always go back.
What? Because that's the Indian Ocean over there, right?
Indian Ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to tell us and give us a time frame. You just tell me what I'm doing, how much time I need off, and I'll do it.
Africa's on my bucket list. So.
Yeah, and you know, the Indian Ocean actually, you know, right before I'd actually ever been to the coast, I had a couple buddies of mine in my primary school who told me that at night, you know, they have like this saying, or the water runs away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it like leaves like you pretty much at night, the shoreline like, you know, moves further into the sea.
Oh, because the tides.
Yeah, because of the tides, and then in the morning it moves all the way back. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy actually seeing that.
Yeah. I know the sensation you're talking about, because when I would fish up in Alaska,
Right.
tides are huge. They're like 30-foot different tides. And I remember the first time I went up, we took our boat. We're moving this boat. We tie up to the dock. He's like, all right, sleep. Went to sleep. I woke up. Our boat was on the ground.
Why?
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know what the hell I was doing up there either. And I was just like, is this like normal? But sure enough, there's like our boat and then like 5 others tied to us, like all on the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah, and these tides.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy experience, huh?
Yeah. So like the difference in the shoreline would be nuts.
It's crazy. And I actually got to see a whale like up close, like, you know.
Really?
I woke up super early. I think I woke up with my uncle, and you know, just like wanted to see, you know, like if we'd actually see like anything crazy. And literally, like, I saw a whale on the beach, and that was like I was like what, 11 at that point. That was the craziest experience craziest thing I've seen in my life. But up close and personal.
Yeah.
How big?
It was pretty big. It's pretty big. Yeah.
That'd be
pretty big.
Going to the coast. See, that's the problem. I'm in Montana. There's no coast.
no.
You gotta get out to Oregon.
I'm from the coast, so I'm a coasty guy.
Yeah.